Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So I'm coming back to show you some more of a catch-up that I've been doing for Roxy's weekly challenge. And I believe we're on weeks 11 to 19 is what I'm going to be showing you today. I did skip some of the weeks, so there's not as much to show you despite there being more weeks in this video. Anyway, so right, let's get cracking. I'm going to try my best to work around the sunshine. It's the afternoon, so the sun does come pouring in the afternoon. But I was just determined I was going to show you all these bits. Okay, so I think if I can see the sun here, so I think if I come in this section, you should be able to see just fine. Okay, so week 11 was Vellum Ephemera holders. I really enjoyed making these, and I never use vellum. I've got plenty of it. I don't know if I can. I'm using a book cover to just, you know, create like a little bit of shade for my pieces to sit in. So I think if I do that and you just ignore this part, please, then yeah, I think it'll be okay. Okay, so I really enjoyed making these. I never use vellum. I bought some a couple of years ago, used it a handful of times, never really used it again. So I was glad to see there was actually a couple of weeks of vellum in the challenge so far. So I was really glad because I never know what to do with it. And I loved these. So what they are is they're little ephemera holders. So I did mine in a botanical theme, so I'll have to hold it down there for the sun. So I'll show you what it is first. That'll be easiest rather than start trying to explain. So it's tied together with some twine, just with 2 holes punched into the front and back like that. So that's what is keeping it closed. And when you open it up, you've just got 2 very simple pockets with the vellum folded up to make your pockets. So that's all it is. So if I actually take out the journal cards, I'll show you those in a second. All I did was folded the vellum, did the pockets. I've just added, glued some book page just as like a strip across it. I added a fern sticker and a label, and that was the only decoration. The rest of my decoration actually comes from my journal cards that are inside. So what I tried to do is I wanted botanical journal cards, so I used some of that pretty book page you've seen me use before in the challenge, and I just added a number label, and I made sure that when I was decorating, when I was choosing where to put the label, I wanted you to be able to see it from the front. Can you see? And I thought that was really, you know, it worked out quite well. So these journal cards, I made them a little bit differently. As you can see, there's nowhere to write on the actual card itself because I didn't want to cover up any of that beautiful book page. So I added the labels, and then I actually folded the book page in half and glued it to create this little pocket. So that's where the, can you see the text of the book page? So that's all hidden. And then I just put a card inside, a tea-dyed card, and that is the journal spot. I need to add tabs to these to make it easier to get them in and out. So I'm just going to have little craft tabs, but I need to do some with my dies, and I'll be using my cardstock scraps for that, and I haven't got around to doing that yet because I've been busy with these things. So that is my very simple journal cards, and again I've got the same on this side where I've got a simple label and another label on the back, just tucked in there, and then of course with that little bit of decoration on the front, and just positioning those journal cards just so. They look really decorated, but actually the vellum itself has only got minimal decoration on it. The rest comes from the journal cards. And I thought that was really clever, if I do say so myself. I think Rachel decorated her vellum a bit more. Like she's very good with her scraps. So, you know, she had pretty papers on there and labels and things. But yeah, I was really happy with how these turned out. I did sew around them just because I wanted that border all the way around. I just thought that looked really nice. But it's not necessary. My art glitter glue was holding just fine, despite it being vellum. And that's that one. I won't open it up because it's basically the exact same thing, just a bigger sticker. But again, I positioned the label on the card to just fit in just so. So yeah, I was really happy with those. I really like them. I wish that I had made more, but I wasn't sure about Vellum because I rarely use it. So I thought I'll just do 2, see how I get on, and then I can always make more, you know, later. So that was, did I say week 11? Week 12 was using Vellum again, and these were called Vellum pocket tags. Hoping I'm doing okay with the lighting. And basically this was using offcuts of Vellum from making these, which I thought was really good. I always like to be able to use my scraps and my offcuts as quickly as possible after I've made them. Otherwise, I sit on them, I ignore them, I run away from them. So I was glad that the next week was using them up. So what they are is they are essentially a Vellum strip folded up to create a pocket, and the whole thing is shaped like a tag and space to write on the back. Now I think I did mine slightly different from Rachel, where I think her decorative paper was on this side. I decided to put it behind the Vellum, so you can see that same book page is showing through the Vellum, which I thought was really fun. And then I put the label on the outside of the Vellum, just where I wanted it. The pocket itself, I just again used some book page and a label. Really simple. I didn't think they needed much because of that botanical book page. And then I used my craft sticker paper on the back to give you this nice big writing spot. And I sewed around. I did funky stitching, straight and then zigzag and then straight and then zigzag, just to give it a little bit something more, because I did think it was a bit not plain, but I didn't obviously decorate it a lot. It didn't need it. And then for the inside, I've just got these little craft tags because again I wanted it really, really simple. So that was that one. And again, the same sort of thing, just a different book page and a different label. So yeah, I really liked those. I'll definitely make these again. Absolutely. And as I say, they used the offcuts of the previous Vellum project, so that's why I only made 2, is because I had 2 offcuts, but I'll definitely make these again. I really enjoyed those. So that was week 12. Sorry, it was hiding. Week 13, these were painted and stamped tags. I did mine slightly different from the video. This was a bit of a variation on one of the previous weeks where we used the plain collage masterboards. I didn't have another masterboard. I couldn't be bothered to make one, if I'm completely honest. So I actually used papers that I had already painted previously. So again, I was using something that I didn't know what to do with, so that was great. And I made mine really, really simple. So we've got the painted paper. Again, I'm going to have to hold it there. We've got the painted paper. Mine is painted with tissue paper that runs. I did do a video on this a while back where I was making colourful journal pages using different methods. And I had a bunch of these pages left over, and it's on like an art paper. And so I just cut those down, and then I made tiny, tiny little tags. So again, I've only got small stamps, so I did a floral and a bloom word, and then I just did some scripty text in the background, added my tag topper, and then I've just made these little cute little tags, all the same really. This one's slightly bigger, slightly different stamp. And I was thinking for these, I'll probably put these in with you know, little tags that I use as thank yous when I'm sending out happy mails or patron gifts or orders and whatnot. And then that one was just a journal topper because I didn't have room for a tag topper. It's a journal card because I didn't have room for the tag topper. And then this was the one that I did in green, blue and green. And this is a butterfly stamp. And this one I felt I needed more, so I added a label. And then again, some scripty stamping. Stamping. So that was those. So as I say, I did do mine different from the video, but I used this painty paper that I had in my stash for a while. I think I recorded the video last year, hadn't used them. So this challenge prompted me to get those out. So I'm happy. I did skip weeks 14 and 15 because I didn't have the right stuff. As I said before, any weeks that I've skipped, I can always come back to them later. So then week 16 is what we're on. This was a Trifold Ephemera pocket, is what we're calling it. So this is mine. I made only one because it was actually quite an involved process for me. You know what I'm like with decorating. So I made one and I love it. So I'll definitely make these again. So what we have is I've used a large book page which had all of this beautiful decoration on and also some cursive writing. So we're just tied with a bow. So if I undo this, I've got some of my wallpaper as a little tab, and then I've put the eyelet on there, and that folds over to the other side just for, I was covering up, I think there was a date there, so I was just covering that up. And yeah, that's how that was. And I'll just show you the book page I was working with. Ignore the postcard. It was a big book page. Hopefully I've got most of you in. And as you can see, it was really decorative and cursive writing and everything, and it was just so much fun. So I knew as soon as I saw the video, I had to use those book pages. Anyway, so that was what I used. So this is the actual book page, and then I just added a scrap of the wallpaper and a stamp just for a little something up there. So it folds out, so it's a trifold. And this was a really interesting one to figure out and to do. So we've got a side pocket here, and there's lots of different variations of this, and I think Rachel even did that in her video. She showed lots of different options. I was just going based on what I wanted to cover up on the actual book page, because some of the illustrations I wanted to cover. So I used a scrap of the same book page as a side tuck, decorated with stickers, and I've got a label that says, "Love is the flower you've got to let grow," just because. I've got one of my decoupage napkin tags in there, just very simple, and I was looking for things that were light and flat, not too bulky, so that's in there. I used my vintage wallpaper to create the middle pocket part. So what we've got here is the wallpaper is also folded into three, and I've just secured it down with this label that I've added brads to. And if you turn it this way, I thought this was really clever. It kind of looks a little bit like a chest. Can you see? Is it just me? Anyway, so that was what I was kind of going for. But that just keeps that flap closed, and I folded this over to reinforce this because it's only wallpaper. So you've got the stenciling in there that I did, and then it's just a pocket. So I've got this postcard in there. So very, very simple pocket. And then the whole middle piece was also, I glued it down on three sides. So we have a secret pocket on the other side just here. And for that, I've just put in some parchment paper for writing on. And it's just a secret little space. Can't fit loads in there, but you can just fit enough. Secret. Isn't that so pretty? I was really happy with it. And then on the back, following Rachel's video, the twine is secured down with some tape, and then I just added this postcard to the back, so the back is also decorative, because I didn't want to lose any of this pretty pattern from the book page. So I said to myself, I'm not going to glue this into a journal, because I would lose that on the back. So this will just get tucked into a pocket, or sent as happy mail, or tucked into a journal, whatever you like. And it's got all those extra pockets and writing spots for extra pockets and writing spots. There we are. I think that came out really nice. So I'll definitely make those again, and it was really fun to use those book pages. That, believe it or not, I had forgotten about. I found them when I was looking for the papers to use for the project, and I thought, right, I've got to use those. So that was week 16. Okay, and this is week 17. So for me, this came in two parts. So I'll start with this one. So week 17 was paper and fabric paint swatches. That was the actual challenge. I didn't do any fabric ones, I just did paper ones, because I don't know how I'm going to use these. basically the way that Rachel did them was she had little strips of paper that she did her circle swatches on. So you can see the different colours of pinks and purples. She had those as little bits of paper that she could then use as embellishments and to decorate things. So this was done with painting. Rachel used acrylics, I used watercolours just because I had more colours available to me in the watercolours. Anywho, so I decided to do mine actually on a full book page, because then I can use this however I like. I can tear it down into the swatches like in Rachel's video, or I can just tear into the whole thing as a collage fodder. So these will go into my scrapbooks to be used however I feel like. So this was one of them. This is the pink and purple. I did the swatching and then I was just kind of dabbing my brush and made really random marks on the page, so just because. Then I did a blue version, and I think I got bored with the circles, so I started doing, you know, cross shapes and lines and things. And again, I can just tear into this for bits of blue collage fodder on vintage book page. Then I did a green version, and again I can just, this was actually me trying to do the swatches in the different shades of green, so I can tear into these if I want to, or I can just use the whole thing. And then I did, just for fun, I did a rainbow version, because in, I think it's August, I'm actually going to be doing a rainbow challenge for the Facebook group. More coming on that because I will be doing it on video. So I just decided I'm going to do a rainbow version. Isn't it fun? So that is the challenge. Whilst I was doing those and I had the paints out, I thought I might as well do something else. So I also basically just painted a load of book pages. So this one is like, you probably can't see it in the light, but it's a shiny metallic copper and gold. And then I did, again, this is a metallic copper one. Can you see the shine? So these will just go into my collaging, just for me to rip into, just for a bit of a fun thing to use. So I've got green. I think that's burnt umber, so it's not metallic, but I thought that would be good for autumn. And then this was some ledger that I basically just did some pinks and greens and browns on, again for me to just tear into. And I've kept those with it. These were the original painted papers that I made the tags from. So I just put them together because they'll all go into my collage fodder scrapbooks and stuff, you know, as that. So that was that. So that was week 17. Week 18 was paints again, but something different again. So let me show you. They were painted labels. Okay, so this was an interesting one. Now I'm not the world's best painter. I'm really not. I can't paint straight lines. I can do a lot of like smishing with the paintbrush. Yeah, sure. I'm not very good at painting straight lines. Basically, the challenge was to, if I use like this as an example, you pick your papers and you're to paint a border around words and bits to create your own little labels. So, you know, say I was using this card, I might paint around the postcard or the cents or address, or maybe a little bit of the flower, that kind of a thing. So these were mine. Don't laugh too much. I'm just going to get them all out. Some of them are actually all right. So I used an interesting, well, I used several things. So I'll start with these. I'll show you these first of all, so hopefully you can see those. Some of them are digitals of ledger, and I thought these actually came out quite cool. I used my watercolours rather than acrylics, and this is just some brown. Painted around and then you cut them out, and you've got little labels that you can put in your label drawer, wherever you keep your labels. And we've got, you know, notes, and you know, this was some fun text that were just on book pages, those ones. So that's how those turned out. I'm not sure I would do this again. I like my labels printed, but you know, it was fun to give it a go. And then I did some plain ones. This was actually from the same book page, but there was a lot of like plain lines on it. It was almost like an exercise book book page, and so I just did some plain ones, and then where I felt like I just did a date stamp. So I've got some date labels. So that was those. I did those in different colours. And then this was part of a vintage, what was it? I think it was a vintage letter. But it was a really scrappy thing, like it wasn't really worth keeping. So I painted around it. I did these in purple for some reason, I don't know why. And then I did little stamps. I've got some like postage type airmail stamps. And that's how those came out. So that was the challenge. It was to paint your own labels, and it was very fun. I'm not sure I'd do it again because it was a bit of a faff, but I did enjoy doing it. And the reason I wanted to mention it is because it actually inspired another idea whilst I was sitting there making these labels. So I have a couple of label stamps, or ticket stamps I should say, not labels, ticket stamps. And I have a lot of scraps. So I sat, as you can see, and did a whole heap of stamping on, these are like my faux tea dyed papers. You know when you're cutting papers down to size for your journals and you know, things like that. So I stamped a load of my own tickets, tore around them, and they look actually all right. You know, I made a whole bunch, you know, and then these can just go into my embellishments for me to use. I also did some on sticker paper. So this is craft sticker paper that I use for backing tags occasionally, or making like little writing spots. So again, scraps left over from other things that I've done. And that's another tea dyed one, but with green. I'm hoping you can see these okay then. I'm not really showing you much, but this is another of the sticker paper. And again, I just I cut around them, and once you cut around them, they actually look pretty cool. This one, the stamping didn't turn out so right, so I tore it down like it was like part of a ticket. And then these are more sticker paper ones. And then I'll show you these. Again, the ideas came. Do you remember those envelopes from a previous week where I made these journal bundle little things? Well, I had the back of the envelope sitting in my scraps, so I stamped some tickets onto that, and they've got a really nice, I don't know if you can, it's like a really rough, really thick, just really fun vintage texture, and they came out really, really good. So that was those. And then I had some of those painty papers left from cutting down the tags, so I stamped some tickets on those. And I made some pink tickets and some green tickets. So as you can see, painting those labels, all right, painting the labels wasn't really for me, but it sparked all of this. And it was fun. And so these are all now going to go into my drawer to be used as embellishments. All right. So that was week 18. As I say, it was the painted labels. And then we're on week 19. And this is the last one I have to show you. You'll be happy to hear because I've been talking for a while. And this is a variation on, I think it was week 16, where we made the trifold pocket thing. So this was a variation on that. So this time I used the wallpaper on the outside, still tied with the same bow. And this time I used some of the scripty book page as my tab and eyelet thingy. My tripod fell down again. It must be one of those days. Okay, so where was I? So it's still a trifold. So as you can see, we open up. Now, because I was only using wallpaper, I lined it with some digital. This is what this scripty is. So the whole thing is quite, you know, thick and sturdy. And it's still the same sort of idea with having the pockets in and things. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep you away from the sun. But instead of the pocket in the middle, this is actually a little booklet. Can you see that? All these nice pages, and I used just random things that I thought would be fun. So that is what the middle component is, as opposed to just a pocket. And again, because this was a variations video, Rachel did show lots of variations of this in the video as well. I just made one because again it was quite involved for me as a process, but I would happily make this again. It was really fun. So what I've done is I've used some of my scraps of wallpaper to make a belly band for a little postcard. So that lives in there. As I say, we've got the booklet. So I've just added a sticker and flower word there, and we've got all these fun papers. It's just 3 sheets, but you know, we've got little fold outs and fun different papers. Just, yeah, really fun. Uses up some stuff. And in the back here, I had a picture I was trying to cover up from the book page. So I created a side tuck with my wallpaper. Again, just an offcut. And then we've got another little journal spot in there. Just a little one. And then if I close this up, because this is what I really like about this one. So I stitched the booklet into my cover with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And then the whole thing can then move out of your way, like so. And then you've got yet another pockets. So I've got another belly band, just for a little card in there. Again, I was just using up as much of the wallpaper scraps as I could. And then I've got a pocket here with the wallpaper, and that's just got this Artie Maze tag, which I need to back. It's just paper, so I need to put it on something stronger and probably cut it down a little bit, but that's essentially what I'm going to have in there. It just fits. And then I just added a couple of stickers to here because I didn't feel like I needed to add anything else there. And then on the back, I didn't do the I didn't tie the twine on, I didn't glue the twine on because I didn't want to cover up any of the wallpaper. But yeah, essentially that's your trifold, and you've got this fun little flippy outy thingy. And as I say, Rachel's video, she showed a few different options of doing this. I just tried one of them, but I will happily make the others at another time, because it was a lot of fun to make. So that was week 19, a variation on a previous week. I do like it when she does the variations because, you know, it just shows the versatility of projects like this, where you can just change it up, change it up, change it up again, and yeah, make all these things that you wouldn't ordinarily make. And I would have never have used my wallpaper. I just felt like it. But on my own, I probably wouldn't have reached for that. But I just felt like this would be a fun thing to use for that. And again, that will just either slip into a journal as a standalone thing, go into Happy Mail, you know, there's so many different ways you could use that. So that was week 19. So we are currently up to, it depends when this video goes out, but at the time of filming, we're at week 21. Now weeks 20 and 21 are part of the same challenge, which is to cut up large book covers and make journal covers with them. And then I think the following week she came back and started doing things with the pages inside. So that's where we're going to start our videos together on week 20, because I thought it was a nice round number. Again, sorry about the light, that was actually my my shade blocker, sun blocker. Yeah, it's a nice round number for us to start the challenge on, as I say, in real time, coming on each week to do the weekly challenge, you know, as they come out. And that's mainly the reason. It was a nice even number. And so anyway, this is the cover that I'm going to use. So when I come to film this video, whenever that might be, soon, next couple of days, I'm sure you'll see it. This is the cover we're going to use. So basically it's large book covers, so this one's quite large, and then she cuts them down into pieces that she can make smaller journals with. So as an example with this one, I will cut, you know, this front cover will make 2 panels for my front and back cover, and the same with this again. So I can get 2 covers from this one book cover. And then whilst I was there, I thought I might as well do this one as well. I don't know what I'm going to do with these covers. Obviously I'm going to make journals with them, but I don't know if I will do that as part of the challenge or put them to one side and come back to them later. I don't know at this point. We'll have to see. But I thought this would be a really nice brown for a vintage botanical journal. Again, the sun's going in, so let me just put the light on. There we are. I think, can you see that nice? It's a really nice brown. It's like a saddle brown. So I'm thinking this would go really nicely with greens and browns botanicals. And because it's so roughed up, I mean, I wouldn't ordinarily use covers like this, as you know. But as part of this challenge, I'm trying new things. And so I thought if I go with the vintage feel, then it doesn't matter that it's roughed up. And yeah, so that's that cover I'm going to use. And then I've got these where my spine, I mean, you can see how roughed up that is. The spine just completely came away. I mean, I think this was where the spine was attached with this cloth. But I loved the cover for the brown and the gold. And I can either keep the Jane Eyre text there, or I could cover over it and keep the tree, or just cover the whole thing and keep the gold outline. I don't know. But then I thought if I'm going to sit down and do you know, these covers, I may as well do this as part of the challenge as well, by putting a spine in and covering it up. So that is where we're going to catch up next on the weekly challenge. And from there, I will be doing them every week in real time with you as part of just this fun challenge. You know, I've talked about it a couple of times now, where I wanted to do this challenge for a few reasons. I wanted to challenge myself for learning new things. I'm just going to put this here so you've got something pretty to look at. You know, I want to try new things. I want to get out supplies that I wouldn't normally reach for. Like when I made this with the wallpaper. I mean, I occasionally use my wallpapers, but I don't use them that often. I don't know why. It just doesn't come to mind. But these challenges force you to think outside the box a bit, or think differently, or approach things differently. They give you new ideas that you would never have thought to have done. I mean, you know, painting bits of book page to get labels. I would never think to do that. It was fun. I don't know if I'd do it again, but it was fun. And a lot of these things can spur more ideas, like when I started then stamping tickets onto bits of scraps. You know, these challenges are great for that reason. And I wanted to catch up because I'm a bit OCD with stuff like that. So I did want to catch up. But I guess I just want to be in that place where I say, if you're looking at these challenges and thinking, oh, we're on week 20 or 21 or whatever it is, I'm not going to be able to do it and stuff. Don't feel like you have to catch up on it. Or if you do want to, why can't you start it in May or June or July or August or September, or come back to it a year later? These challenges, they don't disappear. They just, you know, you can do them in your own time. Anyway, so that was my TED talk. And yeah, and you know, and if you want to start from week 20, that's fine. You know, if you're gonna follow along with me on these videos, amazing. If you're not, great. I hope you still watch them. You know, because I'll be, you know, figuring out new things and trying new things as part of this challenge. So I hope that you will enjoy the videos. I hope that you've enjoyed seeing what I've made for the challenge so far. I appreciate it was a lot to show you. I mean, you should see just the pile of stuff that I made, but I wanted to show you them because, yeah, I just wanted to share, and I hope that it's given some ideas. I hope that it's given some inspiration, and I hope that you enjoy watching the videos as we actually do the challenge together in real time. I'm excited for it. As I say, it's just to challenge myself, try new things, get out supplies that I wouldn't normally use, and just to put myself out there a bit more, because, you know, I'm not scared anymore. I think that is I think that's the biggest thing, is I'm not scared to try these things. And I guess I just want to be in a position where I'm saying, like, don't be scared yourself either, and we can figure it out together and have fun trying new things. Anyway, right, I'm gonna go because I've been waffling on a long time. I will catch you in a few days. We'll be using these covers to make some vintage botanical journals. As I say, so week 20 is getting the covers ready, I believe, and week 21 is like working on the signatures inside. I don't know if she's going to do another week working on the journals. I'm not sure, like I don't know if week 22 is carrying on. But I'm just going to do it for as long as I feel like each week. But at least I'm going to get the covers done following her process, and then maybe we'll do some of it together. But we'll have to see, won't we? It's fun. These challenges completely throw you off, where they take you out of your comfort zone because you don't know what's coming each week. I don't know what's coming. I have no idea. But it's exciting. So yeah. Awesome. All right. I'm going to leave it there. And I hope that my tripod doesn't fall down again. So thank you ever so much for watching. If you're still here, then you are an amazing person, and I really, really thank you for that. I think you deserve a gold star listening to me waffling as much as I do. But yeah, I appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of my videos. Speak soon then, everyone, and have a lovely rest of your day, whatever day we're on. Bye-bye for now.